everyone, this is Christine Thompson, Baird and Warner, lead agent on the CT team. At you again. Another month has passed by and I'm giving you an update on the real estate market. I'm using Naperville as the guinea pig, I like to call it, so that way you can see what's going on in the market. I know that it's very hard to understand it all, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the media. So I thought, let's just show you what's really happening out there, so that way you know exactly what to be expecting. So I am going to kick it over to the, let's see here. I want to make sure I have the right one in front of me here, because I had last month's also. Yes, okay. So I'm going to get this started here, and let me present to you the correct one. And here we go. Okay, hopefully you're looking at the right screen here. So just so you have my information, I'm going to put this up here first. Again, as I told you, I'm Christine Thompson, lead agent on the CT team at Baird and Warner. And this is all my contact information, so you can capture this. You reach out to me whichever way you want, even on whichever you can DM me on any social media platform you want. I'm on them all pretty much, so I'll be able to find you. Okay, but let's get to the real meat of things and get into what's happening on the market month over month. So this is how we closed out October. I showed this to you last month. Don't worry, I'm doing October to November, because we just closed out November. So in November, we had 139 new listings and 48 private listings. I always like to call out, in case you've never watched this show before, private listings means you can't find it on Zillow, Realtor.com, other websites on the internet. Agents have access to it, so you got to have a relationship with an agent in order to hear about these private listings. And I have been told by the MLS authorities that probably as much as 95% of these are taking showings. So be sure you're working with a good agent and knows how to get this this information to you. There are, so if 95% of 48 listings are allowing showings, that's probably about 45 listings, and add that to 139 listings out there, that's about 194 listings. Almost 200 listings out there for people to see. That was in October. And of those, 81 went under contract, and 12 of them had price changes. That's definitely a higher number than we saw earlier in the year, of course. And I think that is obviously because sellers are still needing to get the information and believe it, that the market has changed. So that way it's not, selling a hot minute market anymore. And sellers were going in there not getting a good analysis of the market from their agent. Shame on those agents. I can't call out names, but agents should be guiding you as a seller very firmly on pricing, and you need to trust your agents. Maybe they have been talking to you and you're not trusting them. You really need to listen to them. They know the market. Okay. And don't try to railroad them and just say, nope, I want to do this really high price because that's what other homes sold for. Okay. That's not the strategy in today's market. So that's October closing numbers. Now only 87 new listings, 38 private. So we are down a little bit from closing out October on how much inventory is out there. Price change is probably to scale to how many listings are out there. And we had 81 closed and 73 under contract. And if you look at that, if it was a 30-day close, we had about 145, I said, 184, and 73 closed. So that's 60%. I'm bad with math, but definitely down. So that means there's inventory out there for you buyers to be considering. All right. And for you sellers, for you outliers that are remaining on the market, you are probably the people that had a price change or are going to be experiencing a price change. You might as well nip it in the bud and do that right now, so you can bring in the buyers that are out there looking still, even though we're in December. This is the average sale price for all of Naperville detached homes. So in October, the average sale price was about 634, still 10.5% higher than a year ago. So this is the one thing I have to point out to all of you people. We're hearing from the media, the market's down, prices are down. I don't see anywhere in this line suggesting that. You tell me if I'm missing something. No, there's no, sudden drop behind that little teeny part of the box there. So 10.5% higher list price or sale price from October 21 to October 22. All right. So that does not tell anyone, that is not saying that the market is down. All right. Prices are still up. For November, still 10.5% up year over year. We're still up there. Okay. And we're at 637. Last month, I'm sorry, was 633. Up $4,000, you guys. That's an increase still. And that's closing out November, where we think with Thanksgiving, things are slower. We're getting into the holiday season. Well, I'll be interested to see about December, because then we're really heavy into the holiday season. But even in November, still went up $4,000 and still 10.5% higher than November of 2021. Average market time still dropped from a year ago. For October, it was 35% down from a year ago. In November, down 30%. So that's where we see a little bit of a difference. The market time is starting to kick up a little bit. I would consider that in correlation with the sellers that are pricing too high. If you're not priced right, you're on the market longer. That's overall changing it here. We saw there were more homes with price changes, so it makes sense that the market time is kicking up a little bit. All right, so you sellers out there, really trust your agents when they talk about pricing. If you cannot afford to sell your house at the price that your trusted advisor is suggesting it will sell for, then don't build up market time going on the market. All right. Of course, you'll be helping all the other sellers because the inventory will be even lower, but just do it right if you're going out there. Average showings to contract, meaning how many showings does it take for a house to get a contract? And from last year, it's up 15%. So this is an interesting number. In October, it took more showings in order for a home to get a contract. Again, this correlates with sellers that are pricing it too high. It means there's buyers out there and they're touring, but the buyers are saying, I'm not sure if I agree with you, Mr. Seller, because somebody else priced better than you. And so longer market time, more price changes, more showings to get a house sold. For you sellers out there, do you really want to go through that? Really? I know I don't. I've had to move, and it's not always the funnest thing. It's not a picnic, to get your house ready and leave your house and drive around or something, waiting for people to show your house. So if you're going to go through all that effort, do it right. So that way, when you come out of the gate, you're not going through a lot of pain and you can just get it sold right away. So November, interestingly enough, we can see on that line, the showings went down a little bit in the last month. So it was down, but still 11.5% more in November versus October. Average showings. This is interesting. Obviously, Thanksgiving weekend was lower. It was just over 1.5 showings per listing over that weekend. But this last weekend that we had, almost averaging 2 showings per home. Now, I remember long before COVID, when we weren't in a hot seller market, I remember when we got to 2, we thought that was really incredible. Wow, 2 average showings per house. So we're still in that zone. where things are looking good. All right, that's very, very good. The market action index needle, this is just like a bigger overall summary of, is it a buyer or seller market, putting together all of the stuff that Christine just showed me. And where it lies in November, we are at 38. That was on November 1st when we pulled it then. And now it is at 40, kicked up just a little bit. And that's because we saw November closed out stronger than October. So still no indicator that the market is getting real soft here. Yes, it's softer than before, but our price is going down. Is it reversing to a buyer advantage? Not yet. Still says slight seller's advantage. And this is for overall Naperville. All right. 30-year fixed. This was on September 5th. We had a fixed FHA or conventional at 6.07 and FHA 6. Wow, same number, 6.07. And now November 1st, we've got an average rate of 5.5 or 5.9. Depends on the mortgage that you're with. We had to go to a different source today for the averages. So that's where we're at. We were at 6 before. We got some at, under 6 or at 6, and then we got some people that are over 7. So it depends on the lender that you're going to. And of course, for you buyers, it is also going to depend on your personal profile financially. What's your debt to income ratio? What's your credit scores? All that good stuff. Lenders are going to be looking at that, and that's good. And how much you're putting down, of course, too. What kind of loan are you doing? So 3 ways that you can use your home equity that has built up in the last few years and is remaining stable. You can use that equity to buy a home, move and buy another home that more fits your needs, or reinvest in your current home. Kitchens, bathrooms are number 1 for reinvesting in your home. Or if you've had some home projects that you needed to take care of, like replacing a roof or windows, those are always solid things to be doing. Please do not use it to go on trips and buy sailboats, or use the equity to invest in other investment vehicles. Perhaps you want to get a rental property and you can take some of the equity out of your current primary home and use that to, start with a condo, buy something simple, get your feet wet, and see if you can leverage that money to build and grow your money. Buy a condo, rent it out, and have someone else pay for the mortgage on that property. And all you did was put your down in and, occasional repairs on the property. And if you are concerned about being a landlord, you're like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. I've heard horror stories. Well, of course, the only stories you're going to hear are the horror stories. People that are really enjoying being a landlord, they're not going to go running around going, I love being a landlord. My tenants are awesome. I'm making money on my property. People tend to only talk about the things they want to complain about. So I would highly recommend get past all the naysayers and consider using the equity in your property and buy something, I'm not going to say and go out and buy some huge home as an investment. Get something that's very manageable, easy to fix up. It's not a lot of square footage to invest if you had to fix it up a little bit. And I think you'd be very happy with that. If you want to talk more